Nearly a year ago, during my investigation into Antarctica, I stumbled across an image on the surface using Google Earth Pro that, to my mind, was the greatest discovery I had ever made. I put up a video talking about it, but as everyone knows, a year ago, the world was a very different place. And if you had expressed a different or unauthorized opinion than what was allowed, all of your videos, your channel got shadow banned, and virtually no one saw that video, even though it had nothing to do with what was going on. In today's video, I would like to revisit that discovery and tie it into another mystery that science hasn't really been able to solve. It has to do with Easter Island. Now, for this to all make sense, we need to start someplace that you might not think. I know what you're thinking. Florida Maquis, what in the world does Antarctica or scientific mystery have to do with a swimming pool? Well, full disclosure, this is my backyard. And the pool looks a lot bigger than what it really is. It's not very deep, but it is a nice luxury to have. I thought I would, some time ago, maybe kind of jazz it up a little bit, make it look a little bit more tropical, more Caribbean. So it's kind of hard to see, but in the back here, there are these little oases that are cut out of the cement, and there's rock, and there's some dirt, and there's a little plant growing. There's one here, and you can't see it all the way off to the right over here, but there's a third one. So, in my spare time, I went out and dug it all out, and got the limestone out, and replaced it with sand, and some more tropical stuff. Now, this is just an aloe plant, conch shell, not hard to find, but while I was digging everything out, it occurred to me that I wonder if there's something under the statues at Easter Island. People look at the statues, and a lot of people know that they're buried. They're not just heads. The Moai are very tall. Most of them are underground. And what really got me thinking of this is this corner one over here on the right. I had bought these little solar tikis, these little statues they set out there during the day, and then they have a teeny tiny little solar panel on top, and they absorb the Florida sun, and then at night they have glowing eyes. Looks kind of cool. So I was wondering as I dug this out, and by the way, these are a lot deeper than what they look. These little three oases accounted for about 500 to 600 pounds of rock. So it was quite a project. And then, of course, bringing in the sand and the decorator stone, all that. This is a little closer up image, and this is the one that really got me thinking about this. These Moai might be grave markers. Now, stick with me on this. I really think this is the case. They vary in size, and each face is just a little different from the next one. There is the terracotta army they found buried in China, and they found all of these statues, but each face was just slightly different. You would have to ask yourself, why? Why do we put big, giant, heavy cement monuments in the middle of big grassy fields? Well, of course, if you would come into a city and you would see a giant field of cement statues, what would you assume it would be? Of course, you would assume it would be a cemetery. And older cemeteries sometimes see, if they're not maintained properly, sometimes the headstones fall over, and sometimes things grow up around them. It really makes sense. Now, this is an image from the Wikipedia. It shows the how big they are. These aren't just Moai heads, even though that's all you can see. They have entire bodies below, and this is a huge field of them that you can see. And sometimes you can even see the mounds in and around and near them. But most of them, and this is the real key that ties into Antarctica, are on the slopes of a volcano, an extinct volcano on Easter Island. Now, this is just another picture. of what the center island looks like at night. If you want to see the entire project, by the way, start to finish, did some decorating, and it's on my Instagram. The Florida Maquis is on Instagram, and it shows the whole project, the painting, everything, what it looked like before, the furniture, the whole bit. But the tiki were seen as the gods. And I was reading about these tikis when I first got this idea. And in Maori mythology, Tiki is the first man created by either Tumatuengo or Tane, and he found the first woman, Mari Koriko, in a pond. She seduced him, became the father of blah, 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 blah. We know the story. Carvings similar to Tiki's, coming to represent deified ancestors, are found in most Polynesian cultures. They represent the dead. And you can see this even when they talk about the Hei Tiki, these little necklaces that they wear with these charms on them, that they are honoring their dead. This is something from Chile. The Chemamul, I think this is Chamamul, pardon me, wooden person from Mapuche Che people, are Mapuche statues made of wood used to signal the grave of a deceased person. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, what are you talking about in Antarctica? Well, believe it or not, I found the head of a Moai on the surface of Antarctica. Now, you'd have to look at this like you would a satellite image and get the proper aspect. The most important part about this is that it is on the slope of a volcano, just like on Easter Island. And we'll zoom in here. And as you can see, the features are unmistakable. Even the color is exactly right. You have the eye here. You have the really pronounced brow. You have the nose. You have the high cheekbones. You even have that thin, pursed lip look like you see on the Moai statues. They don't have large lips. They just have very thin. And as you can see, it seems to be buried in the ice and snow. And, more importantly, it's right next to what looks like a giant cave where you could go in. This looks to me like this is a slam dunk for a gravesite. Perhaps for giants. And I'm just going to measure. I didn't even do this in the first video. I didn't measure this. So let's just do a real quick measure about how big this is, height-wise. In meters, 39 meters. Well, you know what? That is right in line with some of the bigger statues, the bigger Moai on Easter Island. And from the nose to the back, it looks like about 28 meters. In feet, that's about 93 feet. So total size, there's one on Easter Island that weighed, I believe, what they said, 98 tons. So I mean, these aren't small. Some of them are, many of them aren't that big, but a lot of them are. So, you know, YouTube being what it is, I can't control, but I can do everything I can to reveal the actual truth of what I've found. And I will, of course, not require you to trust me on this. I will, down in the description, give you the exact location. You can download Google Earth Pro to whatever device you have, and you can search that location, and you can go look at this for yourself and not have to trust me. It is, to my mind, incredibly clear. There's absolutely no doubt whatsoever that this is a Moai in Antarctica, and that they are likely marking graves of giants. So, anyway, just a few more images to share. This is what the corner looks like at night. Did have this guy, he's over in another location now. That's what it kind of looks like during the day. So anyway, just kind of messing around with it a little bit. Just wanted to share this with you guys. This was the one that really got me thinking, because digging out all that rock, I thought, man, because these go down, you would think it'd only be like a foot, right? They go down 2-3 feet. They go all the way out. I had to dig out a ton of roots from the woods behind. I don't know. Let's see if I can find that image. There's a beautiful wooded lot right behind where I'm at here. And of course, we've got the enclosure. So that keeps all the pine needles and all the stuff out of the pool. My house sets farther back on the lot than almost all of the houses on the block I live on. So out back here, when you look to the left and look to the right, all you see is grass. You don't even see houses. You don't see backyards. It's a very private place, very quiet. And for living in a neighborhood, you really don't get better than this. So this is just a little slice of Florida that a lot of people, I don't think, would assume, based on everybody's talk about, oh, too many people and it's overpopulated. I live in a neighborhood. I don't live way out in the middle of nowhere. And I have an incredible amount of privacy. And, talking about the video we did a couple days ago, where we saw the critter run through the yard at night. I have all sorts of crazy critters out here. I truly believe out in this woods behind me that it is occupied by perhaps a small black bear, because I've had things that have gotten knocked over and evidence that something larger than a squirrel or a raccoon or possum is out there roaming around. So anyway, God bless. Thank you so much for being here. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time.